Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by Domain.com. Today on Variant, I give you the history of Wonder Woman while wearing a Superman t-shirt. Oh well. Welcome to Variant. We love comics more than I love getting the password correct my first try on an account I haven't used in years. I'm your host, Arris. There have been lots of requests for history of episodes, which in time I'll get to them all, but one of the most requested ones has been a Wonder Woman episode, which I can't blame you guys. She's one of the coolest and most well-known heroes in comics. But going off topic a little bit, in honor of CW's Flash premiering last night, next week I'll be doing a Flash-themed episode. I was going to do it this week, but my schedule got messed up, so I'm going to do it next week. But if you just can't wait till next week for some Flash love, check out my History of Flash episode and my review of the CW Flash pilot right here on my channel. I put the links in the description below. But back to today's episode, Wonder Woman. Let's talk about her. Wonder Woman has basically been around forever. She was created by William Moulton Marston and debuted in All-Star Comics issue 8 in 1941, which is only 3 years after Superman's 1938 debut in Action Comics issue 1, and 2 years after Batman's debut in Detective Comics issue 27 in 1939. Together, these three flagship heroes are known as the Trinity. Now, before I forget, I do want to mention that Wonder Woman, like I just said, has been around since 1941, so obviously I'm not going to be able to mention every single story arc and detail about her, but I am going to try to hit all the highlights and need-to-know things about her, and what better way to start than by talking about her creation. Wonder Woman's appearance in the early golden age of comics made her the first prominent female superhero. The creator of Wonder Woman, William Marston, was a psychologist and the creator of the systolic blood pressure measuring apparatus, which was crucial to the development of the polygraph, aka the lie detector. Marston's experience with the polygraphs convinced him that women are more honest and reliable than men and could work more efficiently. Marston wrote, "Wonder Woman is psychological propaganda for the new type of woman who should, I believe, rule the world." Wonder Woman was essentially a counter-reaction to the presence of prominent male superheroes at the time, like Batman, Superman, and Captain America, with the hopes that the character could serve as inspiration for younger children, but in more ways than one, she was more geared towards female readers. As a result, the first Wonder Woman series contained many complimentary articles and features which sought to provide guidance to a presumed female readership. There were articles, for instance, on different career paths that the women could pursue according to the standards of the 1940s, as well as a series of stories of famous and accomplished women, called the Wonder Women of history. So essentially, he was one of the first people fighting for gender equality in comic books. That's awesome. Now, that's just a brief overview of her creation, but let's talk about her comic book origin. I'm going to start with her original one from All-Star Comics issue 8 and Wonder Woman 1, but then even touch a little bit on her New 52 origin. I do want to note her continuity has been revamped and changed a numerous amount of times, but like I said, I'm going to stick to her original one and her New 52 interpretations to make this less confusing. Wonder Woman, or Diana, was an Amazon warrior princess who grew up on a hidden and mysterious island called Paradise Island, and later called Themyscira or Themyscira, however you want to pronounce it. The Amazons parted from Greece because of the evilness of man, so guided by Aphrodite, the Amazons sailed to the promised haven of peace and protection. Once at this island, they built a city that no man was allowed to enter, but unlike the other Amazons, Diana wasn't born. Instead, she was formed out of clay by her mother, and brought to life by the Olympian gods. Needless to say, Diana was the greatest of all the Amazonians. One day, a United States intelligence officer named Steve Trevor crash-landed near Paradise Island. When Wonder Woman found him, she nursed him back to good health, but in doing so, fell in love with him. Long story short, Diana was chosen to take Steve Trevor back to America after winning a tournament, but she had to stay there to fight evil. After she won the tournament, her mother rewarded her with her iconic costume and gave her her famous lasso of truth. The magic lasso carries Aphrodite's power to make anyone confined in the lasso submit to Wonder Woman's will and or tell the truth, hence the name, Lasso of Truth. Wonder Woman then took Steve Trevor back to America in her now iconic invisible jet. Through the golden age of comics, Steve Trevor would be Wonder Woman's love interest, and still was Wonder Woman's love interest of sorts in the New 52, up until she later began a relationship with Superman, and they became known as the Power Couple. Speaking of DC's New 52, let me touch on that a little bit, since her New 52 origin is what's current. Wonder Woman's depiction in the New 52 has been mostly along the same lines as the rest of her modern appearances, with a few changes here and there. In her New 52 origin, written by Brian Azzarello, Wonder Woman is the daughter of Queen Hippolyta and Zeus, king of all the Greek gods. Yes, Zeus is her dad, and yes, that's awesome. She's also taken the role of the new god of war. She is no longer a clay figure brought to life by the magic of the gods, but an actual demigoddess. She's also become romantically involved with Superman, as I just mentioned, which, like I said before on the show, I really like them as a couple. Not only can you write cool stories with the two of them, but it just makes sense having the strongest guy hero and the strongest girl hero in the DC universe together. Plus, I like how some people in the DC universe are worried that they're a couple, because if they ever turn evil together, that would be a very bad day. Anyway, that's just the gist of Wonder Woman Woman in the New 52. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, like Firstborn, who's an awesome character. But if you want to know more, I highly recommend reading Brian Azzarello's Wonder Woman run from the New 52. I also have to mention that Wonder Woman is a founding member of the Justice League. She even made the cover of Justice League's first appearance in Brave and the Bold issue 28, while Batman and Superman did not. Take that, Batman and Superman. Girl power. So let's see what I've talked about so far. I told you about Wonder Woman's creation, her original origin, her New 52 origin. So now let's find out what powers this demi-goddess is packing. Wonder Woman is extremely strong. She's hands down one of the strongest heroes in the DC universe, up there with the likes of Shazam, Martian Manhunter, and Superman. When Wonder Woman fought Shazam, they were an even match. In the New 52, Wonder Woman shows a new strength level while fighting a god. She removes her bracelets and goes into a berserker rage of power. We find out that Wonder Woman's bracelets are what protect her opponents from her intense power, which by the way is a really cool concept. Wonder Woman was even able to take down Supergirl. We see that they're close in strength, but Wonder Woman was still able to overpower Supergirl. Now I know what some of you guys are wondering, well, is she as strong as Superman? And to answer that, it's generally accepted that she's not as strong as Superman, but one of the few in the same class as him. Wonder Woman also has super speed, invulnerability, durability, can fly, which now some of you are asking, well, if she could fly, why does she have an invisible jet? Well, my friends, that's because originally Wonder Woman was not able to fly, hence her needing an invisible jet. But that was later changed and she was granted the power of flight. So now she's able to fly at hypersonic speeds, able to keep up with her boy toy, Superman. She also has a healing factor, super agility, and stamina, divine wisdom, enhanced senses, and a master of hand-to-hand combat, amongst a bunch of other powers. Wonder Woman has some cool weapons as well, like her lasso of truth, which compels people to tell the truth, which is no coincidence that her creator, William Martinson, helped in the creation of the lie detector, and one of Wonder Woman's powers has to do with making people tell the truth. Do you see the connection there? I do. Her lasso has been shown to restore people's lost memories and get rid of illusions, and protect people who are in close proximity from magical attacks. She has her Bracelets of Victory, which were created from the remains of Zeus's shield. She uses these bracelets to deflect all sorts of attacks, like bullets or anything else that comes her way. She has a Royal Tiara, which is razor sharp and can be used as a boomerang of sorts. It is also magical and therefore can be used to injure Superman. And of course, she has a magical sword, which she often takes into battle, like the time she stabbed Darkseid in the eye. But that's enough about her powers and weapons. Let's name some of her villains. You have Cheetah, Dr. Psycho, Decay, and Arris, just to list a few. But since I'm listing things, I guess I should list some of Wonder Woman's reading recommendations. You have Superman and Wonder Woman Volume 1 Power Couple, Wonder Woman Who is Wonder Woman, Justice League Volume 1 Origin, Wonder Woman Volume 1 Blood, and Wonder Woman Volume 2 Guts. I think that should be enough to get you guys started. When you buy a domain name from domain.com, you get the power to influence and control what people find when they search for you online. No domain extension will help you tell your story like a .com or .net domain name. Domain.com is affordable, reliable, and easy to use. The guys at domain.com gave Variant an awesome offer. Get 15% off domain.com's already affordable domain names and web hosting when you use the coupon code Variant at checkout. So when you think domain names, think domain.com. First up for Wednesday, October 8th, we have Hawkeye vs. Deadpool issue 1. I've said it before, I'm a sucker for Deadpool versus anyone, so I'm in. Here we have Batgirl issue 35. This is an all-new creative team for Batgirl, as well as an all-new costume. I'm definitely curious to see where the series is gonna go. Now we have Superman Wonder Woman issue 12. This issue takes place after the events of Superman Doomed. Wonder Woman recovers from the events of Doomed, and with the sacrifices and betrayals made, is love lost? And finally, we have Batman issue 35. This issue begins a brand new storyline for creative team Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, who promises this will be their most epic story for Batman yet. Well, that brings another episode of Variant to a close, but remember, you could always like our Variant Facebook page to keep up with the show and all things comic related. You could also follow this mug on Twitter if you so wish, at twitter.com/Arris_Quinones. But I will see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics. So a few weeks back I did a staring contest with you guys in the outtakes, but I feel like I did really bad, so I want a rematch. So we're gonna do this again. First one to blink loses. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, I feel good about that one. I think I won. I may have. I don't know.